there is great benefit in righteous living. Isaiah tells us that he who walks righteously, speaks with sincerity, rejects unjust gain, refuses bribes, and turns his eyes and ears away from evil plans will experience God's perfect security. His refuge will be like an impenetrable fortress. Today's devotional message focuses on Isaiah 33 verse 16, which describes the security and provision enjoyed by those who walk righteously and speak with sincerity. Such believers dwell in a place of safety, high above the reach of their enemies. They find comfort and companionship in their spiritual dwelling, rejoicing in the eternal love of God. Their security is likened to an impregnable fortress built upon the unwavering promises and purposes of God. They are protected from spiritual attack and provided for, even in the midst of scarcity. Their bread, symbolizing sustenance and nourishment, is guaranteed, and their water, representing spiritual refreshment and life, is a never-failing source within this fortress. The Lord ensures that all their needs are met, both physically and spiritually. Here is the word of the Lord through his prophet Isaiah. You who are far away, hear what I have done, and you who are near, acknowledge my might. Sinners in Zion are terrified. Trembling has seized the godless. Who among us can live with the consuming fire? Who among us can live with continual burning? He who walks righteously and speaks with sincerity, he who rejects unjust gain and shakes his hands so that they hold no bribe. He who stops his ears from hearing about bloodshed and shuts his eyes from looking upon evil. He will dwell on the heights, his refuge will be the impregnable rock. His bread will be given him, his water will be sure. Charles Spurgeon shared some very poignant thoughts on this passage in the Checkbook of the Bank of Faith.
He will dwell on the heights, his refuge will be the impregnable rock. His bread will be given him, his water will be sure. Isaiah 33 verse 16. The man to whom God has given grace to be of blameless life dwells in perfect security. He dwells on high, above the world, out of the gunshot of the enemy, and near to heaven. He has high aims and motives, and he finds high comforts and company. He rejoices in the mountains of eternal love, wherein he has his abode. He is defended by munitions of stupendous rock. The firmest things in the universe are the promises and purposes of the unchanging God, and these are the safeguard of the obedient believer. He is provided for by this great promise. His bread will be given him, as the enemy cannot climb the fort, nor break down the rampart, so the fortress cannot be captured by siege and famine. The Lord, who rained manna in the wilderness, will keep his people in good store even when they are surrounded by those who would starve them. But what if water should fail? That cannot be. His water will be sure. There is a never-failing well within the impregnable fortress. The Lord sees that nothing is wanting.
God provides amazing security and peace to those who live blamelessly and righteously. Those who follow God's ways will dwell in safety, protected by God's own strength, and provided for by God's promises. He will dwell on the heights, his refuge will be the impregnable rock, his bread will be given him, his water will be sure. Isaiah 33 verse 16.